Hello there, my gorgeous friends on the internet. In this video, we're going to build out a meditation app. So we're going to take all of our skills that we learned so far, HTML, CSS, vanilla JavaScript, and we're going to build out this meditation app that's just going to help us relax. It's going to help us enjoy life the way we are meant to. And as you can see here, we can pick a certain amount of time that we want to meditate. We can also pick different sounds like rain sounds and beach sounds, and we can just put it in the background and enjoy. So, hope you're excited as I am to build this thing out. Get ready, stretch your back a bit, and let's get going. So, the way we're gonna start out is actually by going to GitHub. I'll leave a link in the description because I have all the sounds and the videos that you've seen in the background already provided in here. So you don't have to go around the internet and search for them just like I did. Okay, so you can go on this, it will be in the description, and you can click on this download here, clone or download, and you can just download the zip. While this downloads, you can also go to my Twitter and drop a follow if you want to. Only if you want to see stupid stuff, okay? Because I only post like stupid coding. Yeah, okay, never mind. So we got the thing here. We're gonna drag it to desktop, and then we're just gonna open it with VS Code. So I'm just gonna open VS Code here, drag the screen in here, and we can just navigate to open folder. We can go to desktop, and we have the meditation app master. So we're gonna click on this. We're gonna get rid of the CSS, README, index, and app.js because we're gonna build these out from scratch. So we're gonna just move them to the trash. And let's take a look on what we have here. So in the video, I just have a beach video and a rain video that we're gonna use as a background. For the sounds, I just have a 10-minute beach ambient sound and a rain one, and in the SVG we have the different icons that we're going to use. So we're going to take a look at these in just a bit. So again, just a logo for the rain, for the beach, and we have the play and pause button, and also the track outline that's going to animate. Okay, so let's create an index.html. let's not create it in the folder, just outside here. We're gonna do index.html, like so. Now to generate a new project, all we have to do is hold Shift and 1 and hit Tab, and that generates us a brand new, spanking, beautiful project. So we're gonna name this meditation app, like so. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so let's also create a style.css. And an app.js here. Perfect. Let's link these two together. Up here we can do the link and tab. Then we can do / and we can get the style.css. And down here, you guessed it, my friend, script source / app.js. Perfect. So what we want to have is I want to have 3 sections. I want to have the section where we can pick the amount of minutes we want to relax. We want to have one where we have the play button, and then the right section is going to be the one where we can pick the different sounds. So for now, let's just go up here and we're going to create a app.app and hit tab. That's going to create us a div with a class of app, and here is everything that's going to go inside. Okay, so first of all, we're going to create something called a vid container. Actually, let's leave the video at the end. What we're gonna have is a time select div. Okay, this is where all the section is with the picking the time. We're gonna have a player container, and this is where the play button is and the timer. And then finally, we're gonna have one called the sound picker. So sound picker, like so. Okay. So these 3 sections is all we need. So hit save, and we're gonna leave it like so for now. And we're gonna go actually to our style.css to get the general layout going. So first of all, let's remove all the margins by 0, padding 0, and I'm gonna do box sizing border box. My favorite kind of box is the border one. Okay, let's get the app, and I'm just gonna give it a height of 100 VH, so it's gonna be full screen, just like an app. I'm gonna add a display flex to this, a justify content space evenly, And I'm gonna open up the live server in just a bit, align items, center. Okay, so let's open up and see what we got. Well, we don't have anything because we don't have any content, but yeah. Okay, so the way we can actually see things, we can just get the time select, like so. And I'm gonna add a comma, and we can also get the sound picker, like so. We can just add a height. Well, let's add a background actually to each. So I'm gonna leave this actually here because we're gonna use these two, but I'm gonna get the time select, and I'm gonna give it a background of light blue. We can get the sound picker, and we can give it a background of, well, I just used light, everything is light to me. Okay, hit save, and let's take a look. And we need to give these a height so we can see them. So I'm gonna give it a height of 80%. So we still cannot see them because we don't have any content in it. So what I can do is just add flex 1 so they're the same length and width. Hit save, and as you can see now we have two different sections here with the same amount of width. So actually let's just add another one here. We're gonna add the player container, like so. And now we have 3, and let's also give this a background just so we can see. So I'm gonna do player container, and we're gonna add a background of light coral. There we go. And as you can see, we have 3 different sections that we can style, and we're gonna leave that for now. And we're gonna go back to our HTML here, and we're gonna do add the extra content that we need. So we're gonna go to the time select here. I'm just gonna have 3 buttons here. So I'm gonna create a button like so. I'm gonna do 2 minutes on this one. Now you can customize these as however your heart wishes, but I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I'm gonna add this 5 minutes, and this is gonna be 10 minutes. Now one cool thing that we can also do is we can add a data attribute that we can use back in JavaScript. So I can add a value here of the amount of this minutes. So I can do data here and time. Okay, so data time equals, and we're gonna do quotes here, and I can add the amount of time I want this to take. So 2 times 60 is, I believe, 120. If I'm wrong, let me know. And here we can do data time. Again, this is just a value that we can use back in JavaScript. It's gonna be 300, and then here, data time, this is gonna be 600. Hit save, and we should have these in here, which is good. We can go to our player container here, and here I wanna have an audio track, like so, and I'm gonna give it a, we're gonna remove the source for now because we can add actually the source in here. So for now, I'm just gonna add a class of song to this, okay? So we know that the song is actually the audio track. And here we can actually provide a source like so by writing source and source again, and then we can do dot slash, and then we can go back to our sounds, and I'm gonna pick the rain as our default sound. Okay, that's all we need here. Good. Now we can get the play button. So outside the audio here, we can go to image, source, and we can go to the SVG folder, and we can just get the play SVG. Okay, we can also give it an alternative of play, and we can also give it a class of play. Okay, so everything is play. And then we're gonna need the outline, and for that I'm actually gonna use them in HTML because I want to animate certain properties that I would not be able to do if we would use the image tag. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to the folder here, to the SVG folder, and we're gonna get the track outline here. We're gonna just copy it from here and paste it below the play button like that. Perfect. And then we're also gonna get the moving outline, and we're gonna copy this and paste it below this one. And you can remove these, we're not gonna need them in here anymore, but I'm just gonna leave them for reference. Okay, so we copied both of these in here. Now we're gonna go back to the first one, and I'm just gonna give it a class of track outline, like so. And for the other one, I'm gonna give it a class of moving outline, because this is the one that's gonna animate in. Okay, hit save, perfect, and that's all we need there. Let's take a look. This is gonna look messy because they're huge, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, in our sound picker, we are almost done with the HTML, the most boring thing in web development. Okay, anyways, in here, and I actually forgot something, right above the SVG here, below the SVG here, we can also add the time display, okay, so the countdown. And for that, we can just do a H3. Let's go back, H3, like so, and we can add a class of time display to this. Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna add 0:00 in here, okay? Let's go to the sound picker, and in here, I'm gonna create two other buttons. So we're gonna do button, and we're gonna kind of do the same thing in here. We can add the data sound. And in here, what we can do is we can just add the path to the different sounds in this folder. So in the sounds folder. So we can just do /, and I'm gonna go to sounds/rain, okay? And then in here, we can just add an image, and we can just do /svg, and we can get the rain SVG. And that's it. We can also add an alt of rain in here, and perfect. Save that. Let's go down here, and we're pretty much gonna do the same thing. This is gonna be an image of the beach. So we're gonna go to SVG, and we're gonna get the beach SVG. We're gonna add the alt of beach, and we're just gonna add this data property again to the button. So data sound is gonna be equal to /, we're gonna get the sounds/beach. And we also have the two videos, so we can also add those if we want. We can go up here, we can add data video. It's gonna be equal to, and we can do / again, video/rain. Down here, data video equals to /video/beach. All right, there we go. That's all we need. So this data attribute is really good. And whenever you want, you can easily just modify the minutes, for example, here to 3 minutes, and then you can just add 180 in here, and then everything is just gonna magically work in JavaScript for you. So there we go. This is what we have. Looks amazing. Let's style it up a bit, because come on, it just doesn't look that good. Okay, actually, we also need to add the default video that's gonna play in the background. So let's do that too. So inside the app here, I'm gonna do 2 enters, and we can just create a container here for our video. So we're gonna do vid container. Now, actually the position of this doesn't really matter where it is, because I'm gonna put it in the background and we're gonna position fix it. Hit tab, and in here, all I have to do is add a video, and we can remove the source again. And in here, we can just add a source, oh Jesus, and we can go to video, and I'm gonna have the default as the rain, okay? And what else I can do is I can loop this, because our video is only a few seconds long. So if I want to make this run like forever, I can just add the loop in here. We can also specify the type if we want. We can add type. This is just a video MP4, okay? Hit save. And I promise this is all we need in HTML. So let's see what we have. So as you can see, there's this huge video here, and it's gonna block everything for us. So temporarily, let's just go to the video, or vid container, I believe I put it in, but we can just add a display none to this for now. So we can easily style everything in here. Okay, so let's move these things in their place. So in here, in these different sections, we can also add display flex again, like this, which is gonna put everything in a row. And then what we can do, let's remove the player container, because we're gonna style that a bit differently. Hit save, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the flex direction to column, flex direction column. It's gonna put it like this, and then we're gonna just do justify content space evenly. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna do align items center. Okay, there we go. We centered everything, these two sections. Now let's see how we're gonna deal with this. We might do a bit different. So down here, let's also do the player container. Okay, and I'm gonna add a height of 80% to this. I'm gonna add display flex. There we go. We're gonna justify content. Actually, we're almost doing the same thing. So let's just let's copy this and paste it in here. And if we have something different that we want to modify, we'll just do it down here. So we can do player container, and we'll see if we need something else. Hit save, and this is what we have so far. Now we can position these circles right in the middle however we want. So what we can do is we can add position relative down here as an extra property to the player container, and then we can take all the SVGs and just position them. So we can do player container SVG, and we can just add a position absolute to this. Hit save. Let's see what we have. There we go. We're making super progress already. Good. We can just add a height of 50%. Let's see, make it smaller a bit. And then we can add a top 50%, left 50%, hit save. And actually, you know what the problem is? We need to transform and translate this back here. So we can do transform, translate, and we can just do minus 50% and minus 50%. Hit save. That's gonna put it perfectly in the middle. Now the problem is I'm gonna remove this blue because we don't want to see this blue, and then we're gonna add it back. Okay, and for this we're gonna have to do it in JavaScript. So for now I'm gonna leave it like this. And one problem is we're not gonna be able to click that play button because this circle is right on top of it. So we can remove that by adding pointer events none. And this way now we can click on this button. Great, now let's get the time display here and style it up a bit. So we can go back here and we can just do time display. I'm gonna remove these in a bit, don't worry, we're not gonna leave it like that. Time display. And for this, we can just add a position absolute to this. Position absolute. And I can give it a bottom of 10%, okay? I'm also gonna change the color to white and the font size to 50 pixels. Hit save, let's see what we have. And there we go, we just moved it all the way down here. And now the button is perfectly in center because of the display flex. So everything looks good here. So we can remove the backgrounds here and we can just add the video back. So remove everything here. And on the video, we can get rid of the display none, and then we have, whoa, look at that, this right on top, but we want it to be in the background, so we can add a position fixed, and we can add a top of 0% and a left of 0% and a width of 100%. But Ed, where's my image? Well, it's here, but we cannot see the buttons. Why is that? Well, because the image, well, the video is on the foreground and everything else is layered in the back. So we kind of need to take this video and put it in the back, okay, like this. So how do we do that? Well, we can use the property of z-index, and that's exactly what it's gonna do. It's just gonna take the image or the video and it's gonna put it behind everything else. I'm gonna add like -10. You can do -2, -1, doesn't really matter. 0 is the default value. So now as you can see, everything just pops up here just the way we want it. Good. Now we can style the buttons a bit. So we can go to the, let's see what we have here. Okay, let's go all the way down here, okay, to make everything clear. So we can get the time select, not the time select, yeah, the time select, buttons, comma, and we can also get the sound picker button, like so. Okay, we can get all the buttons, we can change the color to white, we can add a width of 30%, let's see how that looks, there we go, make them a bit longer, Then we can add a height of 10%. We can get rid of that ugly background none. There we go. And now we can just change the border to something nicer. So we can add a border of 2 pixels solid white, hit save. There we go, way nicer. And we can also add a cursor pointer so it looks clickable. And let's also add a border radius to 5 pixels and the font size to 20 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it's a bit more visible, a bit more clickable. If you want, you can also add the hover. All you have to do is just add a time select button hover. And in here, you can just change the color to black, and then you can change the background to white. Okay, and here you can just transition all 0.5 seconds ease. And now when we hover over these, we can change the color as well. Okay, so this still looks ugly, so let's fix this up. Down here, what we can do is we can get the sound picker buttons, like so. We can add a border of none. Okay, we can get rid of the border. We can add a height of 120 pixels and a width of 120 pixels. Now, why am I adding the same height and width to these? Well, I'm doing that so I can mess around with the border radius. So if I add a background color to these, I'm just gonna do sound picker button, and I'm gonna do nth child like so. And I can get the first button and the second button. Sound picker button and child 2. So that's gonna get the second button from these sound pickers. And then here I'm just gonna add a background of, let's do 4972A1. Okay, hit save. There we go. So we have that. And let's give this a reddish color background. We can do hashtag A14F49. Hit save and we get that. Now up here on the buttons, we can just add a border radius. And if we do 50%, then it's going to be perfectly circular. If our width and our height would be different, this would not be perfectly circular. So this kind of still looks super close together. So what I can do is just add a padding of 30 pixels. And there we go. Well, we have this problem here. Remember correctly, we have the button and we actually have an image inside this button. So it kind of jumps out right now. So the way we can fix that is by just getting the sound picker, and on the button, remember we actually have an image inside here. So I'm just gonna select it like this for now. And all I have to do is just add a height of 100%, and that's gonna constrain it down in here. So there we go. Good, so inside JavaScript, we pretty much need to select everything that we have. So let's just create a function. I'm gonna call this app, like so, and it's just gonna be a simple arrow function, like so. And I'm gonna call it down here, okay? So in this app, we're gonna pretty much build out everything. So what are some things that we need? Well, we need the song. So I'm gonna select the song. I'm gonna say const song is gonna be equal to document the query selector, and we're gonna do dot song, okay? Perfect. Now we need the play button, so we're gonna say const play is gonna be equal to document the query selector play, okay? Then we're gonna need the outline of this. This is the outline here, the circle. We can get that by saying const outline. It's gonna be equal to document the query selector, and I believe this is named moving outline, and we're actually gonna get the circle inside this SVG because that's what we need, because we want to animate the path of the circle, not the SVG. So we're gonna say dot moving circle, dot moving outline circle. Okay, there we go. Close this up, and we also gonna need the video. So const video is document the query selector video. It's actually in the vid container video. There we go. Perfect. Now we need to select all the sounds. So I'm going to write sounds here. Const sounds is going to be equal to document, and very careful here, make sure you do query selector all, because we want to select all these songs, and we can do dot sound picker, and we get all the buttons. Okay, now we need a time display, so way for us to display the time. And remember, we added a h3, and we can just modify that, so we can do const time display. It's going to be equal to document dot query selector, just the normal. And we can get the time display. Remember, this is just the h3. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to get the length of this outline, this circle, okay, because we want to animate that. So get the length of the outline, like so. So how do we do that? Well, we can say const outline length is going to be equal to outline, okay, the circle that we got up here, dot get total length, like so. Get total length. Okay, and this is a function, so we're going to invoke it here, and this is just going to give us back console log outline length. It's just going to give us back the length of this path. So if we hit F12, we're going to see, if we go to console, we're going to see 1359 here. It's hard to see, but there it is. So perfect. Good. So we have the outline length. Okay, what else do we need? Well, we're going to need a duration. And if you remember, we have in our HTML here, we have the durations set in here. Okay, so for default, I'm gonna, well, this is actually not the duration of the entire song, because that's not how we're gonna do it. It's kind of like a fake duration that we're gonna add. And then when that time expires, then the song is just gonna stop. Okay, the ambient music is gonna stop. So this is kind of like a fake duration. So I'm gonna call it let fake duration. And this is gonna be equal to 600. This is gonna be the default. I'm gonna leave it as. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to animate this thing, but we want this to start from 0, because right now it's like fully animated in, okay, this blue circle. And what we can do is we can get the stroke dash array and stroke dash offset, and we can animate those properties to make it look like it's starting from 0 and it's animating in. So what we can do is we can call the outline here style dot, and write this correctly because you can mess it up super easy. It's stroke, like this, dash array. It's going to be equal to, if I set this to 100 just really quickly, you can see that it just leaves empty spaces in between this path. So 100 pixels, 100 pixels, and so on and so forth. But what we can do is we can set it equal to the outline length. So the total length of this outline length. And then it's going to make it look full screen again. And now what we can do is we can animate the offset, and if we set that equal to this, then it's gonna look like it's gone. And if we animate it backwards, it's just gonna come out very nicely. So we can do outline, just style, I'm gonna show you in a bit what I mean, stroke dash with big D offset is equal to, if I add 200 to this, you're gonna see that it's going to leave empty space here. If I add 500, it's going to leave more empty space. However, if I just add the outline length, then it's going to look like it's not even here. And after that, we can just let it just slowly count it down from this total length all the way down. So it goes, basically, it looks like it's going to play. Okay, now if you want, you can drop these in the function. It was just 2 lines of code, so I really didn't want to do it. All right, this is getting kind of boring. Can we just play some sounds already? Okay, I got you. Let's play some sounds. I'm gonna add a play sound here. Play sound. Okay. Now to play the sound, what we can do is we can get the play, the play icon, and we can just add an event listener to this. Add event listener, a click listener, and we can just run a function here. We can do an arrow function to keep it simple. And here we can just do song.play if we want. However, this is not what we want, but let's see, can we hear something? All right, we're getting the sound, so that's good. Not sure if you can hear. Okay, you can hear. Okay, but this is not good. We want to change the button from play to not play to pause, and we should be able to stop it whenever we want. So again, this is not optimal. So what we can do is down here, we can create a function specific to stop and play the sounds. And we can also change the icons. So what we can do is we can check if the song dot paused. Okay, we have this property on the song attribute. And we can check if the song is paused or not. And if the song is paused and we click on it, we can do song dot play, like so. And I should drop this in a function actually. So we can add a const check playing. It's going to be equal to, I'm going to add a song parameter here, and then we're going to add it inside here. So we can just do if song is paused, then song will play. And we can also change the play.source. Okay, so the image we want to change to ./svg/pause. Okay, we want to change it to the pause. Good. Else, we can also song.pause. So if it's not playing, so if it's playing, then we can pause it. This is getting kind of weird. Play.source, and we can just change it back to the play button, svg.play. Okay, and we can also start animating the background and stopping the background. So what we can do here is we can also do video.play. And in here we can do video.pause. Perfect. And rather than just having song.play in here, we can do check playing, and we can just insert the song in here. Hit save, and let's see. There we go. Hit pause, and everything works the way it should. Now what I want to do is I kind of want to start with this animation here so we can get the time and we can animate this nicely. So a property that you can use on the audio track, if you have an audio in here, what you can do, let's go below this one. So the check playing is we can animate the circle and we can check the time. So what we can do is we can get the song and we have an OnTime update on this, like this. Everything is lowercase, so OnTime update. We can set this equal to a function, like so, or an arrow function. Let's keep everything consistent, like so. And what we can do here is we can get the current time of the song. So how do we do that? We can just do current time is equal to song.currentTime. And this function basically just runs every time the song runs. Okay, so when we hit play, this is going to execute the song OnTime update. And every time the song keeps going on, it's going to keep updating. Okay, when the song stops, it's not going to this is not going to run anymore. And we can get the current time here, which starts from 0, and it's slowly going to increment all the way till the song finishes. Okay, so we can also get the elapsed time by writing let elapsed. It's going to be equal to basically the fake duration, so the custom time we have on how long the song should last, minus the current time we just created up here. So that's the elapsed time. We can get the seconds and the minutes as well to animate the text. So to do that, we can do let seconds is going to be equal to basically elapsed, so the time elapsed, and we can do the percentage 60. Okay, so this basically is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and when it gets to 60, it's going to reset back to 0. Okay, that's all this does. When it gets to 60, the elapsed time, it's going to jump back to 0. We can get the minutes too, let minutes, and that's just going to be equal to elapsed divided by 60, because 60 seconds divided by 60 is going to be 1 minute. So pretty simple. Now these are going to be some weird numbers here. It's going to be like 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, whatever. So what we can do is we can just math.floor this, so we have a flat number. So we can do math.floor. We can just get all of this and stick it in there. And we can do this as well here. We can do math.floor. Stick everything again. Just drop it like this, just so we have an exact number. Because again, we might have like the current time will be 1.2462, okay? And we want to have just 1, 2, 3. So that's why we use the math.floor. Okay, perfect. Let's get the progress bar going. Animate the bar, the circle. I'm going to the bar later maybe, but let's just do the circle now. So we can do a let progress here. It's going to be equal to, and this is some trickery here. It's just some magic that I use. We can get the outline length. It's just a bit of math. So we can get the length of it minus, and we can get the current time divided by the fake duration. Okay, times, and then we can do, where's my times? There it is, outline length. Okay, just a bit of math. And what we can do here is we can get the outline style dot stroke dash array, again, that dash offset, my apologies, is going to be equal to the progress. So this calculation that we did here. Hit save. Let's see how it works. Hit play. And as you can see, it starts animating. Now it's really slow because I think it's set to 10 seconds by default, but it works just fine. So perfect. Now let's also animate the text here. So animate the text. For that we can do time display dot text content. It's going to be equal to, I'm going to do backticks here. I'm going to add a $sign and curly braces. We can get the minutes, and then we can do a colon, and then we do $sign, curly braces again, and seconds. So we're basically just inserting these two in here. So now if we hit save and play, as you can see, we get the nice countdown working perfectly. However, this is set to 10 minutes now. So let's see if we can modify these three values. So whenever I click, it should automatically jump to that. All right, let's take a look on how we can select the duration basically of the sound to go. So we can do a select sound here right below the play button, okay? And then here we can do time select dot for each. And let's see what I have here. Okay, we didn't do it, so let's go up here and do that. We can just do a const time select. It's going to be equal to document.query selector all. Again, we're going to use query selector all, and that's going to be the time select button. Okay, so we're getting all the buttons, time select button, all the buttons from here. Okay, these. Perfect. Hit save, and down here now we can do a loop over these. So time select dot for each. So basically for each button I want to go over, I'm going to add option here. So for each option, I'm going to do an arrow function, and we can just attach on the option an event listener. And whenever we click on one, we can run a normal function. I'm going to do a normal function here because I want to add the this keyword to it. So what we can do here is we can just change the fake duration. So fake duration is going to be equal to, again, this is the time that we used across all of our app here. So the fake duration is basically going to be equal to this dot get attribute, and we can just do the data time. And what the data time is this. So we can just update it in HTML if we want. Hit save. Okay, that's going to update the fake duration, and we can also update the text content from here. So to do that, we can just do time display dot text content. It's going to be equal to, so we can do $sign. Okay, let's make sure, because these backticks can be quite tricky. $sign. Okay, brackets. We can do math dot floor. We're going to open up parentheses. Fake duration. divided by 60. Okay, this is gonna be our minutes. And outside here, right next to the backtick, we can do colon, and then we do $sign again, curly braces. We can do math.floor, and we can just do fake duration %60. So this is gonna be the seconds. Okay, hit save, and okay, it works now. So let's take a look if this works. So in here, we can do 2 minutes, and as you can see, it works. 5, 10. Let's do 2 minutes, hit play. So this should go faster. And the cool thing is, just for experimentation's sake, we're gonna change this from 120 to something like 10 seconds, okay? Just so we can mess around with this. And as you can see now, when I select 2 minutes, it's gonna be just 10 seconds. And then when I hit play, see, this is gonna go way, way faster. Now the problem is when this finishes, it's just gonna go crazy. And we don't want things to go crazy. So let's fix this. We're gonna go back to app.js, and in here on time update, this is where we can actually stop that from going on. So in here, because again, this updates every second. So in here, what we can do is say if current time is bigger or equal than our fake duration, because we don't never want this to happen, we can just do song.pause. We can pause the song, and we can reset the song.current time. We're gonna set this to 0. So it kind of like resets the song for us. And we can also do play.source, and we can change this to play. Because if we don't, this is gonna remain on pause. So we can set this equal to svg/play, okay? And we can also pause the video if we want, video.pause. That's it, that's all we need. Let's take a look. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Resets, song stops, background stops, everything works just fine. Okay, let's also be able to change the different sounds. So let's go up above here, the play button, pick different sounds. And for that, what we can do is we can just loop over the sounds we have. Sounds.for each, and we can, for each individual sound, we can just run an arrow function again, and we can attach an event listener. Sound.add event listener. On click, we want to run a normal function again, like so. And what we want here is the song.source to be equal to, and again, we can get the attribute that we have in HTML. So down here, we can get the data sound and the video sound. So we can get the song source can be get attribute, and we can do data sound, and song video dot source can be equal to this dot get attribute data video, and that's almost it. And now to run this, whenever we click on it, we can also do check playing. We can run this function again, the check playing, which is, where is it? Here, okay? Hit save, let's take a look. Okay, this works. Hit on this, there we go, it changes. Hit on this, everything works. Perfect, we can change the sound, the time. Okay, a small few issues we have with this is I don't want this to start here. I kind of want this to start from up here. So the way we can change that is we can just go back to style.css here, and we can just get the player container SVG, which is here, player container SVG, and we can just rotate this to -90 degrees. Let's see if that fixed our issue. Go back here, and as you can see, now we start from up here. That's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, this was one of the funnest things I've built so far. Also, make sure to drop a sub down below and let me know what you think of this project. Until next time, peace out.